lunch with Lyra.
Hey, loser. Since it's a holiday, you can eat with us today. Haha. My dad's voice rang through the hallway like a cruel joke, and everyone laughed. Even my mother. Even my younger brother, stuffing his face like he was born royalty. I stood by the kitchen entrance, holding a cracked plate, praying someone would say, "Just kidding," but no one did. They never did. 3 years ago, when my dad lost his business, everything in the house changed. Or maybe it finally showed its real face. They said I was ungrateful for wanting to go to college. They said I was lazy when I took extra shifts. They said I wasn't family because I didn't sacrifice enough. So, I slept in the basement. Ate leftovers if there were any.
Did the chores.
Paid half the bills. And kept my head down. Until Christmas Day. That morning, they laughed louder than ever, especially after I placed a tiny gift under the tree. "Oh, wow," my brother snorted. "She finally got a job that pays in dollars?" They cackled. Again. I wanted to disappear. But then, a knock. Firm. Intentional. And when I opened the door, I saw him. And suddenly, everything was about to change. He stood in the snow like a scene from a movie, pressed suit, leather gloves, dark sunglasses despite the gray skies. "Are you," he checked a folded paper, "the legal resident at this address?" I hesitated. "Yes." He handed me a thick envelope and said, "You've been officially served. Details are inside. Your lawyer should already be in contact." Before I could say a word, he turned and disappeared into a sleek black SUV. I closed the door slowly. My family had gathered behind me now, nosy like vultures sniffing blood. My mom snatched the envelope. "What's this? Another dumb online subscription you forgot to cancel?" She opened it, then froze. My dad leaned over her shoulder. What the hell? It was the contract. The one my lawyer had spent 4 months crafting. The one that proved I was the rightful owner of the house they'd pretended to rule like a kingdom. The house I had inherited from Grandma, in full. They had kept the deed from me, lied about probate court, forged my signature to rent the place to themselves for free. Now, that was over. And just like that, the laughter stopped. My dad's face turned white. "You little, what did you do?" I looked him in the eye and said, "Something you never taught me. I protected myself. 3 years ago, they said the house was too much responsibility for a teenager. We'll take care of it for you," my mom said sweetly, handing me a room in the basement like it was charity. "You're lucky to stay here rent-free," my dad added, even though they never paid rent either. They turned my inheritance into their kingdom, redecorating, renting out rooms on Airbnb, throwing parties I wasn't invited to. My brother's dog pissed on my floor. My sister used my closet as overflow storage. And me? I was the maid. The errand girl. The punching bag for every stress they refused to face. "You should be grateful," they'd say. But gratitude can rot when you're left cleaning up beer cans at 2 a.m. Gratitude disappears when your own mother tells you you weren't really cut out to live alone anyway. So I played dumb. I smiled. I cleaned. And, silently, I gathered. I dug up the original will. I met with Grandma's lawyer in secret. I filed every receipt, every ignored message, every lie. And now, they were holding the legal consequences in trembling hands. "What is this?" my sister yelled. "You want to evict your own family?" I leaned forward slowly. "I'm not evicting you," I said. "The law is." My brother lunged across the table like he could scare the truth out of me. "You wouldn't dare go through with this," he shouted. My dad stood up too, fists clenched, veins bulging. "You ungrateful brat. We gave you a home." Mrs. Winters, the probate lawyer I had brought with me, calmly slid another document forward. "This is the original deed, signed by your mother's mother. The house was left solely to your daughter." Silence. Not shared. Not to be split.
Mine.
"And what about everything we put into it?" my mom shrieked. "The renovations? The furniture? The memories?" "I kept receipts," I said. "You made me. Every nail, every couch, every family pizza party, while I scrubbed floors like the help. It's all documented." My brother laughed bitterly. You're just mad we didn't treat you like royalty. No, I said, my voice quiet but sharp. I'm mad you never treated me like family. They had turned a home into a trap, and now the walls were crumbling around them. You have 14 days, Mrs. Winters said, sliding the official eviction notice across the table. Then this house is no longer yours in any way. My mom gasped. My sister whimpered. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel small. I felt seen. The next morning, my brother's car was missing from the driveway. Apparently, he'd driven off in the middle of the night after slamming doors and swearing revenge. But the damage was done. Mom spent the day pacing in silence, refusing to speak to me. My sister stayed in her room, too ashamed or too scared to face me. And my dad, well, he acted like I was a ghost. Like if he didn't acknowledge me, I'd just disappear. I didn't. Instead, I stood my ground. I made coffee in my kitchen. I opened the windows wide and let the sunlight in. And I prepared. Because 14 days wasn't just a deadline for them, it was a countdown for me, too. I had spent years surviving this place. Now I was going to reclaim it. I started rearranging the furniture. I donated the dusty old sofa they made me sleep on. I painted the kitchen cabinets a soft blue. My mom hated blue. I pulled down the family is forever frame and replaced it with my college acceptance letter. Each day, I chipped away at the memories that held me prisoner, until this house no longer echoed their voices but mine. And the more I filled the space with light, the more the shadows shrank. It wasn't until day 12 that my dad finally broke. He barged into the living room, red-faced, waving a crumpled bill in his hand. This electricity bill is under your name now? Who the hell do you think you are? I didn't flinch. I think I'm the legal owner of this house, I said calmly, folding another towel into a donation box. You're tearing this family apart. No, I said, standing. You tore this family apart. I'm just cleaning up the mess. My mom tried guilt next. She stood by the fridge, arms crossed like a martyr. After everything we've done for you, this is how you repay us? You mean the years of unpaid labor? The constant belittling? Or the time you called me a parasite for asking for lunch money? Her lip quivered. But I wasn't done. I cooked. I cleaned. I sacrificed college to take care of Grandma, because you didn't want to. And when she died, you threw me away like a spare key. My sister peeked in, wide-eyed. She'd never heard me speak like this. Maybe no one had. That night, they held a family meeting without me. But I listened from a hallway. And when my dad whispered, "We need to leave before she kicks us out," I finally smiled. Let them run. They tried to flee the very next morning. At 6:04 a.m., I heard rustling, drawers opening, bags zipping, muffled arguing. I stayed quiet, sitting on the staircase, barefoot and calm. As they reached the front door, suitcase in hand, I turned on the lights. Running away? Without saying goodbye. My sister froze. My dad cursed under his breath. My mom, still in her robe, hissed, "This isn't your business." Actually, I said, pulling a folded paper from my back pocket, "It is. This is a notice. You're being evicted, legally. This house is mine now, and you violated the rental agreement. You have 14 days to vacate, or the sheriff will help you pack." My dad grabbed the paper, eyes darting wildly. "You've lost your mind." I tilted my head.
No.
I finally found it. They looked to my sister, hoping she'd guilt me. But she was already walking back upstairs, eyes down, whispering, "I'm staying." The silence that followed was so thick it nearly choked the air. Without another word, they stormed back into the house, but their power was gone. That evening, I received a text from an unknown number. "You think you've won? You'll regret this." I blocked it. I didn't need to reply. The house was mine. And I wasn't scared of ghosts anymore. New Year's Eve arrived with snow thick on the roads and silence in the house. I lit one candle. Not for them. For me. The past was gone. Not forgotten, not forgiven, but behind glass now. Like an exhibit in a museum. Do not touch. My sister stayed. She started therapy. She cried the first time she made us both dinner and said, "I didn't know how to be kind before." I believed her eventually. We're not best friends, but we're building something. As for my parents, I heard they moved in with a cousin across town. He doesn't answer my calls anymore, which says enough. Let them poison someone else's home for once. I went back to school, rebuilt my career, learned how to take up space without apologizing. And when people asked, "Where's your family?" I didn't lie.
I said, "They're somewhere."
I'm here. That night, at 11:59, my sister and I stood on the porch. No countdown, no champagne. Just breath in the cold air. I thought about all the things they tried to take, my money, my pride, my worth. But here I stood.
Still me.
Still rising. As the new year rang in, I whispered not a resolution, but a promise. Never again.
Chín